Hi everyone, I'm Emma at the Jackson County Public Library.
And I'm Blueberry.
How are you today, Blueberry? You seem a little grumpy.
I just took a bath and my fingers are all wrinkly.
Has that ever happened to you? Where if you're in the bath or the pool, your fingers get all wrinkly? That's weird. What is that? That is something called
Osmosis.
osmosis. Happens when a solvent, usually water, passes through a semi-permeable membrane. So for example, when your fingers are in the water, your skin is a semi-permeable membrane, and in order to equalize the solution, water will pass from the bath into your fingers through osmosis.
That's confusing.
Yes, that's confusing, but we are going to do some examples and then maybe it will not be so weird. For our osmosis experiments, we will be using water for our solvent. And at the Jackson County Public Library, we have several books about water. Water Can Be by Laura Purdy Salas, All the Water in the World by George Ella Lyon and Catherine Tillotson, Agua Agüita, or Water, Little Water, which is a bilingual book by Jorge Argueta. You can call the Jackson County Public Library to make an appointment to come browse for books or to put them on hold. Here are the supplies you'll need for the osmosis experiment. If you got an activity bag from the library, you'll notice that you got water beads. These are a fun way to demonstrate osmosis, but they are not necessary. You can also use dried beans and peas. And if you got an activity bag, you will notice that you got raisins, which we are not going to use here today, but raisins will work the same way as everything else. If you want, you can also try this experiment out with a potato, which you'll have to get from your own pantry or the store. And for the potato, you'll need a knife and salt, which I bet you'll find in your kitchen. And you'll also need 3 or 4 big cups, jars, bowls, or Tupperware containers. I'm using these mason jars. And you'll need some water. So first, I'm just going to pour the beans into this jar. Oh no, they're going all over. Next, I add water. Not too much water, just enough to cover all of the beans. About this much water. Now we're done. All we have to do is set the beans aside and wait for osmosis to happen. Next, we'll do the same thing with the water beads. This is actually a lot of water beads, so I'm not going to use them all. You'll be surprised at how much they expand. Just enough to cover the bottom of the jar. Now I will add the water, and for these I'll add a lot more water than I did with the beans. About like that. Now we'll sit and wait for osmosis to happen on these too. For the potato experiment, we'll do things a little bit differently. I'm going to take the salt and pour salt into one of the jars. About 1 or 2 tablespoons of salt. Now I will fill the glass with water. And I'll fill the other one with water too. Now I'll take the potato and the knife and carefully cut 2 thick slices of potato. Like this. And I'll put one in the plain water. And the other one in the salt water. And now I'll just set them aside and wait for osmosis to happen. It is the next day, and as you can see, the water beads have completely filled up the jar, and the beans have absorbed all of the water. In both of these cases, water traveled through a semi-permeable membrane into the object where there was less water. With the potatoes, it's a little different because there is salt, and salt is a solute. A solute means it dissolves inside a solvent. So here we have a potato that's been soaking in plain water and a potato that's been soaking in salt water, and salt is a solute. The plain water potato has not changed. It's just hard and normal. The saltwater potato is all floppy now. Why? Well, when there is a solute, water will move from the area of less solute to the area of more solute. And in this case, there's less salt inside the potato and more outside the potato. So the water that's already in the potato will move out through the semi-permeable membrane into the salt water. And that is why it's all floppy. Okay, Blueberry, are your fingers de-wrinkled?
Yes, now I'm going to go learn rocket science through osmosis.
So, learning through osmosis when you sleep with a book under your pillow is not real osmosis.